Hey, Scott Jordan here for Jancast number 132 for September 29th, 2022. And Mark, and I see John there, summer is over.
Yes, it's officially over, and the equinox is past, which means that the days are shorter than the nights, which breaks my heart.
Yep.
I like it when the days are longer.
Ice melt season is coming, even though we do have a hurricane to worry about right now. So it's kind of hard to think about blizzards when you have a hurricane going to hit Florida, right?
Well, we're introducing a new product, a hurricane removal product. Just kidding.
Yes.
But happy to have Jon Adkins on from the ISSA, Senior Vice President, and I used to work with Jon. So
yeah, I used to work with Jon. I used to work with Jon as well when I was president of the ISSA back in 2011.
Yeah. Go way back with both of you. It's a pleasure to be on here today. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks a lot for coming on. We saw a lot of stuff we're going to get into in a little bit, and I said, boy, what a perfect guy to have on for Jancast. But before we get to that, let's get to some breaking news.
And this is kind of interesting because Jon, being a long-term listener to Jancast.com, knows all about germwashing.com. And so, Scott, when you saw this headline, you were like, whoa, indicated, validated.
Yeah, I was reading the newspaper online over the weekend. I was like, wait a second, that sounds kind of familiar. And then they talked about United Airlines. It's like, wow, this is crazy. I mean, people didn't actually believe us back when we were reporting that this product, it started out with United, and then Southwest got that. So I said to Mark, I said, we need to hire the salesperson that sold those two airlines this product. That Spears and Spikes was going to keep their seats biologically clean for the original claim was 90 days, but they decided only to say 30 because, well, maybe 90 is kind of pushing it, And we said, this is completely bunk. And we researched the label of the product, which the label said nothing about anything that you cared about other than odor-causing bacteria. So it's like, wait a second. So I reached out to Southwest Airlines, because I think it was Southwest that did it first, and said, you guys, you can't be saying this. This is not right. And they actually answered me. And then I guess it was maybe a month or so later. Not sure which one took it down first, but and Mark, you pointed out yesterday, they were only doing the testing in Texas, right?
All right. So as soon as the plane flew over the Texas border, it was null and void, right? So it was kind of hilarious. You might take off in one that was under the claim and land in another city where you weren't safe anymore. But so it didn't make any sense at all.
So I feel really good about the fact that when we put the whole germwashing.com thing together, there was so much misinformation. Mark, you and Jon both saw it. It was crazy. People were like saying you walk through a spray hood and get your body sprayed and you were good. I mean, people were making some crazy claims, and this was one of the crazier ones. Because nobody wanted to get on an airplane because they were afraid of, I mean, this was early on, obviously. So it's very, it makes us feel pretty good that we did something to clarify it. And the fact that the EPA actually followed up and went after these guys to the tune of $300,000 fine.
Yeah, well, that is actually the most amazing part. It's great to be, vindicated and validated for bringing this Spears and Spikes oh my to the table. But, the reality of it is it's great to see that it's not just talk on the part of the government. They're actually putting some teeth into it and going after folks, and I've seen that in other ways where people were maybe misrepresenting PPEs or selling faulty PPEs, and they're going after them too. So it's I'm glad to see all that. Clean it all up, because that's the theme of today, is clean it all up.
So that's the old new news, and let's really get into some exciting news, because this is groundbreaking, right, Jon?
It is, Scott.
Yeah. So one of the things, tell us about the program for those that haven't seen it.
One of the things I asked Jon to do before he dumped into that was to let all of our listeners know a little bit about Jon's background. And
Oh, yeah.
his, his background with the ISSA is some of the things he's done were just fantastic, like
Yeah.
unbelievably powerful. And Jon, I know as vice president, you're overseeing everything now, but I know back when with all the analytics and the distributor surveys and all that stuff that you did, I used a lot of that stuff. And I think our listeners would like to know that that was your creations.
Sure, sure. Well, thank you both for saying the kind words there. We've gone back well over a decade now, and I've been at ISSA for 13 years. Started off in the marketing department, and then I started to work in our web and media business, which I oversaw the editorial side of that for a few years. And then, as you were saying, Mark, I started a new initiative here at ISSA with market research, benchmarking, analytics, things along those lines. Put together those distributor sales reports with our partners up at Trade Press Media, and did a lot of other surveys for members and the industry as a whole. So got involved in that data side of the business before re-entering the marketing team and running that group for a couple of years. And then for the past year plus, I've been a senior vice president here at ISSA, responsible for our marketing team, our IT function, and then many of our divisions, which include the Global Biorisk Advisory Council, IEHA, ARCSI for the residential cleaning community, IOP FDA for the office products and furniture dealers, and our ISSA Canada division north of the border here. So got my hands on a lot of different things here from a general management capacity, but really excited to talk to you guys about our new Rethink What Clean Means campaign, which we just launched last week.
Yeah, I was fascinated by that, and especially based on the spokesperson. But I'm guessing that there was an awful lot of background work that you did before launching a campaign of this magnitude, right? I mean, it's what, a $5 million campaign?
Yeah, the association's invested $5 million in this campaign. And the way it came to be was our board of directors said, over a year ago, look, a lot of our members are being adversely impacted by some things that are out of their control right now. One of which was certainly the supply chain issues, which are persisting to a certain degree now, as well as, changing guidance from EPA and other regulatory bodies as to how to clean, what to clean, are we cleaning surfaces? Are we cleaning the air? Whatever that looks like. And so we felt like we had an opportunity to advocate on the industry's behalf for our members, and to do that in two ways, right? The first of which was to help consumers and the public really understand the critical importance that cleaning plays in protecting public health. And then number two is to drive demand for your and our members' products and services universally as best we can. And so this campaign has been in the works for over a year. We just launched it last week, and there's two components to it. There's the consumer component that's out live in the market right now, which we're really pushing hard for 6 weeks here. And then we have a sustaining B2B component of the campaign that will kick off in early October and then run through the end of June of 2023. And Mark, you had asked about the research that went into the campaign development. We contracted with an agency here in Chicago, Weber Shandwick, that's been instrumental in pulling all of this together for us. But one of the tools that we put out in the field before launch was a survey to get a good read on the public's perception of cleaning and why they value it and what they value about it. And we released a few data points with our initial press release last Wednesday, and then we'll have some additional data points to share with our members as part of the sustaining campaign and the toolkit that all of our members have access to really take our Rethink What Clean Means message to their staff, to their customers, to really show that, hey, we're rallying behind this with our industry trade association and doing everything we can to shed cleaning in the most positive light possible.
Yeah.
One of the most valuable statistics I saw that come out of the survey, sorry, Scott, was over half the people said that if they went into a business and it didn't meet their standard of cleanliness, they would not go back. And I thought, wow, that's a hard stand that probably didn't exist before. Anyway, sorry, Scott.
No problem. I was going to compliment you on the toolkit. A lot of great material there. So on the toolkit part of it, is the intent that like Bullen or a distributor or something would use those materials to drive traffic to their website or to the rethinkclean.org website?
It could be both, Scott. So the call outs are very generic, right?
Mhm.
And that you have an opportunity to co-brand them and say, hey, you know, Bullen's behind this, and you can learn
Cool.
more about our products at bullen.com, right? And then also with rethinkclean.org, that's where folks, there's a specific landing page for consumers and then a specific one for the B2B audience. So that's where they can find more facts about the cleaning function. There's some COVID cleaning resources that we developed, a couple of years ago, and other best practices through some of our training, opportunities to find members in your area. So if you're looking for a distributor or a cleaning service provider within 30 miles of your zip code, you can find that on our site as well. So there's a lot of opportunity for members to engage with this. And one thing too that we're excited about is if these materials, if you feel like there's something that you can add or you want to change to some degree, we're happy to work with you to that effect. And if you wanted to see about doing it in a different environment or setting, hey, we're all for that, and we want to be able to support our members to get this message out there in the best way possible.
I didn't actually see, I heard about the B2B, but I haven't seen a lot of details on it. Is that something you can share anything with us now on that part of the program?
Sure, I can. So that campaign element's kicking off on October 3rd, so next week. And the consumer part really focuses on social media, influencers, all of that, the information that you've seen thus far. And then the B2B campaign is really going to focus more on trade media and facility managers and folks who hold the purse strings for purchasing cleaning products and services. So we've got a number of different earned media strategies in place, a lot of trade advertisements, thought leadership webinars, and email newsletters, things along those lines. But we're really trying to connect with the hotel space, the buildings.com with BOMA and others like that. So really trying to make sure that we get the message in front of the right people. And then from a social media perspective, really leaning into LinkedIn there to be able to identify those key facility managers and making sure that the content is front and center and resonates with what they're looking for. Nice. But the biggest takeaway here, guys, is that with the facility manager, we want to be able to convey that cleaning is an investment that's going to boost your bottom line, get people to come to your facilities, spend more time there, purchase more of what you offer, and all of that. So there is a financial impact that we want to make sure people are well aware of.
Yeah.
The ROI of cleaning.
Exactly.
Finally, people are looking at it as a positive. For how many years, decades, people have looked at cleaning as an expense that they have to accept and deal with, when in fact, in reality, as you're going to be pointing out, there's a positive return on investment on being cleaned. Yeah. And even the survey points it out. I have a quick question for you though, Jon.
Sure.
I love that Howie Mandel is involved with the campaign, and I had the unique opportunity to meet Howie and shake his hand.
Yep.
Sure, he didn't remember me, but he was, the keynote speaker at a previous ISSA show. I'm not sure what year that was, but I remember he spoke about how important cleanliness was to him and all that. It's just such a perfect person to be a spokesperson. So my question is, what are his roles in the Rethink Clean campaign? Is he have multiple roles? Is he kind of like a new face for the cleaning industry? Will he be speaking to other folks about how awesome we are?
Yeah, great question.
Does he want to really elevate his game and be a guest on Jancast.com?
Work with his media people for sure. But no, we brought Howie on to be the celebrity face of the consumer component of the campaign, which is what you see out there in the market right now. I had the opportunity to go out to Los Angeles and be part of the shoot with Howie.
Oh, cool.
And, I've got to say, the enthusiasm that he has for what we do as an industry. And, he was exposed to our show in 2017, Mark, in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
And, And I remember him walking around the trade show floor and just being blown away by all the different technologies. Man, I'd love to have access to all this stuff. But we worked with him for the shoot. He said, "Hey, look, I'm totally committed to this. Anything I could do to help." So he won't be participating in the trade show directly in Chicago in a couple of weeks, but we'll have a special video message from him. And he's really well aligned and like you said, a really good face for what we're trying to convey here.
Yeah, I like with him and Gavin doing the ATP meter checking and stuff.
Yeah, we wanted to show that there is some quantifiable evidence out there, right? And there are methods to validate and do these things and really shine a light on that for folks that probably had no appreciation for that before.
Was he aware of that kind of technology or at the beginning? I mean, obviously once you got into it, but was it like a surprise that you could actually swab something and get results?
I think he was familiar with the concept, but to see it in the field and really how it works, I think that was eye-opening to him. And then just some of the additional, cleaning best practices that we shared and Gavin was able to share throughout our time together. He said, "Man,
I wonder
come on the road with me."
I wonder if he renegotiated his contract with America's Got Talent that they have to do ATP testing on the panel table.
Well, that's funny you mentioned that, because where they film America's Got Talent is actually one of our GBAC Star facilities.
Oh, perfect.
When we told him that, he's like, "Oh, well, I feel a lot better now knowing that you guys are a part of this." So
yeah, well, there is a heavy connection with the GBAC program, so it's a nice tie-in for all the people that put the time and effort into getting their facilities approved and everything else. So that it's a perfect. I saw on the website you can look up the GBAC facilities, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, to find places that are committed to going through the proper procedures and protocols to protect your public or protect your health.
Yeah, I remember one of the things Howie said during the 2017 keynote. He was probably one of the most tuned in keynote speakers I've seen in many, many years, because he was so into clean, right? And lived with this fear. And I remember he said that you don't know what you don't know, something along those lines, and that he'd learned so much walking all around the trade show floor and talking with the different manufacturers of the chemistry and the equipment. And I remember him commenting during that keynote, there's just so much to learn that nobody knows how much there is to learn. And being a guy that, in my case, of just being so aimed towards education and training and all that stuff, it meant something to me when he kind of said that to the entire audience. There's just so much that you can learn about this. And, with all that said, I mean, I love the fact that the federal government's acknowledged that there's something to be gained by educating people too. Jon, maybe you can tell our listeners about what OSHA decided to do.
Yeah. Thanks for that. So just last week, we got notification that our application for a Susan G. Harwood grant with OSHA was approved. And what that is $160,000 in funding for training frontline workers on infectious disease prevention and all of that we do. So we're really excited to have received that. And right now we're putting our action plan in place as to how we'll distribute the education and training. But I think it just really, like you said, shows that folks are paying attention to this and know that the front line really has a critical role to play, and we want to make sure that they're doing it right.
Yeah, that's great validation for ISSA.
It sure is. It sure is. So we hope it's the first of many more to come.
Yeah, cool. Well, we will put in the show links below the video on our site when we post it up. But is there any specific place you'd like people to go, Jon? You could tell me now, and we can plug that in as well to learn more about the program. And hopefully for people that are non-members, this is an opportunity for them to become a member and get the benefits of this great program you put together.
Absolutely. So the best place to start is rethinkclean.org, which is the campaign landing page. And then for those of you who are ISSA members, encourage you to log into your ISSA.com account where you can get access to the member toolkit and get access to all of the different digital assets that you can use on your website, on your social media platforms, in your newsletters, in any customer communications that you have. So really encourage folks to take that next step. And like you said, Scott, if you're not a member, I've said this many times before, I feel that if you're in facility services or cleaning, you're missing out. So we hope that this campaign shines some light on that, and you get exposed to the benefits of being a part of the ISSA community.
Great.
Well, I applaud everything ISSA is doing, and Jon, certainly applaud all your time and effort and energy that you've put into all this. So thanks for being part of the program.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate both of your support, and it's been fun.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks in beautiful Chicago. Let's hope the weather's going to be nice.
Yeah, it's cooled off about 40 degrees this past week, but hopefully it warms back up when you guys come. So look forward to seeing you there.
Hopefully the boats will still be bobbing around in the lake there.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks very much, Jon, and thanks for everybody tuning in and watching the program. Mark, thank you as well. And we will see you with the next show, which should probably be from the ISSA show, actually. So,
on the show floor.
On the show floor. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you both.
Thanks again, Jon.
Okay, take care.
Bye.